Hi, I'm cozied up in bed for the most part, surrounded by a bunch of books, and I wanted to start making daily vlogs. Very raw. This is Sam, guys. Hi. Hi. And I wanted to start making these really for myself. Sorry that you see a cat butt. I wanted to make these really for myself. So that I can keep track of my progress. I love you too, over the course of this year. And so my goal is to record these daily. Do not know if they're just going to be on my Instagram platform or if I will just put them on a blog and direct you here so that you're not flooded with all of these things. Thank you so much for all this loving. But so I want to talk about where I'm at currently, right? Sorry, Sam. I want to talk about where I'm going to get rid of this pillow just so it won't be lingering back there. I want to talk about where I am at currently. And where I'm at currently is in the midst of a lot of shifting and a lot of changing. So within this video, I'm going to allow myself space to talk about my financial situation, my environmental situation, my familial situation, my relationship situation, all of the situations. I'm gonna lay it out just right here so that I can like get real, raw, and honest and start to just like, again, have this for my record so I can go back and I can see, because what I find is that I like to talk, right? I love to talk and I love to write. But I like to write things that I like to write. And sometimes, for me personally, I do not like to write when I am feeling bad. But I want to have those feelings put out there, and I want to have those things put out there. And so I figured that this would be a really good way to allow me to do that. So that is why I'm going to do these daily vlogs versus just journaling, because I am never consistent with that. And I feel like I can be more consistent with this and allowing my community to have this deep relationship with me, to really see the behind the scenes, to really like let you guys in along my journey for real, because on Instagram I feel like I just kind of like trail off because I don't want to be posting too much. I don't want to be sharing every little detail if that's not what people want to see. So probably we'll be sticking this on a blog and then letting you guys know when a new video is up, which I'm aiming for daily, right? So I'm gonna aim for these videos to be around 15 to 20 minutes. 15 minutes, I'm long-winded. So my max is gonna be 20 because I could talk for an hour, guys, really could, but I'm going to keep it down to a minimum of 15, maximum of 20. So with all of this being said, let's hop in, right? So I'm just going to give you guys a little backstory for this year for me. So at the beginning of this year, I was working as a server, and I've been working as a server really since I was about 15. I also have my cosmetology license, so I've been in and out of the salon. I really didn't like working in a salon just for the sheer fact that women are really picky creatures, and a lot of times when you give a woman what they want hair wise and they get it and it doesn't look good on them after you've kind of tried to tell them, it just turns into so much stress and anxiety around all of it. And so I just kind of wanted to take a step back and take on clients on the side that I wanted to take on, and that was really joyful for me. So that's what I did. Served and kind of did hair on the side. I've always had a passion for helping people. I love to help people and find that the people within my life, whenever they are experiencing difficulties or struggles, will oftentimes reach out, not necessarily because I'm the best advice giver, but because I love to listen and to hold space and to just be there. And so at the beginning of this year, when everybody was getting laid off, I got laid off from my job, and there was some back and forth there, and they tried to get me to kind of come back after they kind of like had me dangling on a schedule and didn't put me on for 3 weeks. So I was without any pay for 3 whole weeks. So I applied for unemployment, and then I got, a call from that job that I was at, and they asked me to come back, and then I didn't quite feel safe to come back with everything that was going on. And so they told me that basically if I didn't come back within 24 hours, that it was going to be considered like voluntary termination, which basically meant that I quit. And so I just kind of went with that. I rode that out. I didn't feel aligned with staying in a situation where I was being treated that way. So I just kind of like stepped out on faith, and I was like, well, it's going to work out. So for the first part of the year, like many, I was drawing unemployment, and I will be very, very honest and open. My whole life have not had a lot of financial knowledge, and so instead of investing that money in ways that I could have made it go further, I was basically just paying bills and doing things that weren't going to give me a return, right, guys? So it landed me back into the same situation where I was in need of a job, and at the time I was living in my hometown, and I got a job at my local coffee shop, really loved it, and then some things happened in that area, and I ended up like having an unexpected move. And so then that job was off of the table because I was moving an hour and 30 minutes away. And so here I am, guys. I moved. I'm in a new environment. And what I have been doing, because at the beginning of this year, I heard a little whisper that I would not be working a traditional job. I just like felt that in my being. I felt that in my existence. I am not a lazy person by any means. I am a creative. I am constantly learning something, doing something. I love to learn. And one area that I was really lacking in with learning is the financial area. I am so liberated in so many areas of my life, but not in the area of my finances. And so, being here, I haven't had to pick up a job because I've been door dashing, and that has been able to really supplement that income for me because I have cut my expenses down super, super low. Like, that's one thing about me. I love to live, oh my goodness, Sam. They're just, so there are 2 of them, as you can see. There are 2 of them. And Sam's the racer. And then my cat Grayson, he is a big fluffy cat, and they just go at it. So you're going to hear some cats in the background. This is real and raw, guys, real and raw. This is real life right here. But to get back to it, I have just been door dashing on the side, and that's really been doing it for me. It has allowed me the freedom to be able to travel and to go see my family when I want to see my family, and take care of my bills, and take care of my needs, and take care of my wants within a certain limit. And so within this year, I have really been trying to like rack my brain how creatively I can help people, right? Because I love to create digitally. And some of my personal interests are writing, reading. I have a very, very deep love for etymology and the roots of words, and ancient Kemet, and specifically within that realm, Het-Heru, or Hathor as she's also known, and so, and water as well. And so those are the areas where my interest lies, and where I do a lot of digging and connecting dots and things like that, right? I personally identify as being spiritual, but in a non-traditional way. I don't really categorize myself as believing one specific thing. I am open, and so when information presents itself, if it feels good to me, then I'll take it in, and if it doesn't, then I'll leave it. And that's just kind of how I live my life. I allow for things to take different shape and form, and I'm constantly in the state of metamorphosis and changing every day, every single day, within 5 minutes of the day. And so it's been a really amazing journey through this whole year to go from playing it small, from, you know, putting myself in the box of going to a 9 to 5 and doing that sort of thing, which, you know, is not a bad thing. It's just, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and if it is, it is. But it definitely wasn't for me, and I was trying to struggle to fit into this mold because it is a mold that a lot of my family choose to fit in, which is fine because they are happy within that and that works for them. But I just found that for me, it put me in a very depressed, anxious, and stressed kind of frequency and vibration, and that I feel like I have a different calling on my life. I feel like, and have always felt like, I was put here to help people. And so this year, I really in 2020 have focused on, before doing that, before helping other people, helping myself, because there are a lot of areas that I personally needed healing in, and healing is not linear. I'm sure that you guys have heard that a million times, but it's not. And so this year has been a year of really getting to know myself again, discovering who I am, and constantly discovering who I am, and breaking out of these patterns of codependency and people pleasing and perfectionism, and just fitting into these small places, because I, as a child, learned very early that to stay safe, I couldn't really speak my truth. Guys, come on. Come on. Come on. This is what I deal with, guys. So, all right, to get back to it, yes, this year has just been a year of introspection, as it has been for many people. And what I realized is that I am good at something that I never would have considered something that would help people, and that is like organization and structure. And it was really shocking to me too, because I like to go against the grain. I like to be a rebel, and I like to go with the flow. And I find myself, you know, in my life having always been on one end of the pole of extremes, whether it be like happy or sad, or whether that be like, you know, having a lot of money or not. Like, I was not able to sustain any kind of balance or equilibrium within my life, and it caused a lot of struggle. And so this year I've been learning how to stay in this middle space, and realizing that when I get too far over here or too far over here, that it's time to come back here, right? And that's with anything, with relationships, with finances, with really anything. I've been just realizing these things about myself. And throughout this year, I realized that the ways in which I want to help people are the ways in which I've wanted to help myself. I want to heal my ancestral line. I want to create generational wealth for myself and for my family and for other people and for their families. And I have a really big vision. And I want to spread not only wealth in a monetary realm, I want to spread wealth in the realm of wellness and health, both mental and physical and internal, just all of it. Because what good is having money if you're not healthy? And what good is healthy if you don't have the abundance that you literally are entitled to. I wouldn't say entitled, but that's your birthright, right? And so I personally have really shied away for the most part from communities for most of my life, because as a preteen to about 17, I was in a cult, and I have a lot of like religious scarring and trauma from that. And I have been feeling in this year that I'm going to be a part of community, and I'm going to be building community. And so I've had to really dive deep into these wounds and really go there with myself and allow myself to see that not every community around me is a cult, right? And so I joined some really amazing communities this year and kind of backed away because of those wounds. And after, diving deep into those wounds, I realized that now I can integrate. Sometimes it's like a breath, guys. Sometimes, when we expand, we take that breath to expand, which was me joining those communities, we contract back into ourselves. And that's what I did. And I had to go back within myself because I just felt that it wasn't the communities, it was me. And so I sat back and I observed, right? And that's something that I, wasn't able to do at the age of 13, right? Because I was just at an age where I didn't have the capacity and I didn't have the knowledge, information, and wisdom that I have access to today as a 27-year-old woman. And so I joined, again, some beautiful communities. I'm a part of the Wake community, the Wake movement, and I'm also a part of the Family. And so both of these communities have been super beautiful, right? I got a Conga machine, which is when I became a part of the Wake movement, and the water has literally changed my life. My life literally looks different, but I also look different and I feel different, and the way that I am, the way that I find myself being in my daily life is balanced. And again, for my whole life, I struggled with being in extremes, right? I was diagnosed at a young age with depression, severe depression, anxiety. When I was in college, bipolar disorder. I had a very hard time maintaining a healthy weight. I was always overweight because I was always emotional eating. And I had a hard time, guys. I had a really hard time mentally. I had a really hard time physically. Because I was always made to be small, and so my coping mechanisms looked like emotional eating, seeking external validation, which led to a lot of toxic fucking relationships, and also growing up without any financial foundation. I made excuses my whole adult life as to why I couldn't be wealthy, why I couldn't have money. And when I would get it, I would blow it because I was scared to have it, because I was scared somebody was going to take it away from me, because as a kid, I always saw it being taken away. I always saw it never staying long, right? So this year has just been a lot, right? And so the other community that I'm a part of is the Family, which is tied in with Trade House Investment Group, and that is where we trade within the foreign exchange market. I'm sure that you guys have heard of Forex. And so I'm a part of both of these beautiful communities, and it just feels so representative and symbolic of balance, right? Structure and flow, right? Water, Kangen water, flow. Forex, foreign exchange market, structure. But also even within that, like the yin and the yang, there is within flow structure. Within water, there is structure. And then also within the market, there is flow. There is liquidation, right? Liquid assets. And so it has been a year, and it's going to be a journey. And my goal for this year is to really get out of my bubble and allow myself to tap in and be immersed in these communities, and allow myself to not be held back because of the way that I want things to look. Because I'm here to help people in any way that I can, right? And that started with helping myself. And now that I've done that and am continuing to maintain that, now it's time to help other people, and to not sleep on presenting these opportunities that I'm a part of because I am scared or fearful, or because I don't want it to look a certain way. I'm very big on aesthetics, and so when things don't look a certain way, and they're not aesthetically pleasing, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a part of that. I don't want to share it. I don't want to, and this is something that I'm working through, right? Because it's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. And when I joined these two communities, I joined them because of the way that they felt, right? And this is not to say that, like, where was I going with this? I really just lost my train of thought. So I'm going to reroute, right? So another thing that I also want to bring to the table this year is sharing all of the knowledge, wisdom, and information that I acquire. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of research on water, on alchemy, on all of these different ancient topics, metaphysical topics, spiritual topics, that and scientific topics that really, really intrigue me and interest me. And that people like feel this like air of mystery around me, because like behind the scenes, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing so much research because I'm curious about it all. I love connecting the dots, right? My favorite feeling, guys, is whenever you get that ping of like, you experience a synchronicity, and then it leads to another synchronicity, and then another, and then it comes back around full circle, and you're like, whoa, it was about all of this. And like, those are my favorite moments in life. And so it's going to be this year about sharing more of those. And I don't have to share everything, because some things are meant to be sacred and aren't meant to be shared. But I just want to bring you guys along this journey of just where I'm at and where I'm going, right? And you guys can just be here to witness this journey. I don't expect anybody to join an opportunity that I'm a part of just because they're following my journey, right? I just want to bring you guys along because I want to have a record of this. I want to share, and I want to tell my story in real time. And I want to be in a space where I can look back at this video today that I started today on December 28th, 2020, and next year at this time, that I've got shit done. And I've done it. And I want to hold myself to a higher standard this year. I don't want to be entertaining people who don't have a vision for their life. I don't want to be in environments that aren't conducive to my growth. I don't want to settle for come back, Kayla. I do not want to settle this year, period. I don't want to settle for anything less than what I know that I deserve, and the people around me deserve, and the people around me deserve from me. And in order to do that, it's going to take a high level of focus. I am going to be nourishing my mind, my body, and my spirit. I'm not going to be going out and spending money aimlessly and impulsively like I did last year. I'm not going to be around people who aren't pushing me and really having my best interest. I'm not going to entertain those energies. I'm not going to allow myself to be in toxic, cyclical energy anymore. I'm not going to do it. And I have allowed that in the area of relationships 100%, where I feel like I have to prove my worth to somebody, but I'm so fucking valuable, you know? And you are too. If you're watching this, you too. Like, I'm speaking this to you, and I'm speaking this out because I need to hear this. I'm so valuable, and I see so much good in people that a lot of times I will allow myself to get attached to the potential to the potential, scenarios, to the potential narrative, to the potential, but it's not the reality. It's not the fact, right? So this year, I'm going to be focused on pouring my energy into me, and into those people who are around me who want to grow as well. I want to pour my energy into myself and to people who are pouring energy into themselves, right? That's what I want to be doing this year. I want to be getting my mind right. I want to be getting my body right. I want to be doing these things that are going to nourish me physically, mentally, spiritually. I want to be eating better. I want to be moving my body daily. I want to be allowing my mind to have a moment to be still daily. I want to be doing these things. And I want to bring you guys along. And so I'm excited about it. I'm super fired up. You guys have heard the cats in the background. They're going wild, and this is what I deal with every night. But I'm excited because, again, like, I come from a background and come from a childhood where I was not wealthy, right? But I am bound and determined that I am going to build wealth because I am meant to be successful. And, you know, I always looked at success as something that was going to come easy to me, right? But what I realized this year is that it's not that success isn't easy, it's that success takes a high level of discipline and consistency. And those are two things that I have not had, right? I'm always, not now, but I have always looked to somebody else for a quick fix and for a shortcut. And there are no shortcuts, right? This year, I am focused on being self-sufficient. This year, I'm focused on being the humble woman that I am, but also being blunt, honest, and truthful. And saying it how it is. And not sugarcoating things. That's what this year is about for me. It's about stepping into this embodiment of who I know that I am meant to be and who I'm constantly becoming. And up until this point, I have allowed myself to stay quiet and overly modest because it makes other people comfortable. But I've been so uncomfortable this whole time. And it's time, if you're doing that we cut that shit out. It is time to step into those shoes. It is time to step into that truth. MB, how was your dance? Are you okay?
Yeah, my back is like...
You want some deep blue?
Yeah, I probably need to eat a little
Okay, guys.
bit.
Real life, we out.